Well, hello, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Look at this beautiful bird just sitting here in the mountains of Colorado. I am super excited for today's stream. Something a little bit different here. I know we love the airliner stuff. We do all the airline flying. We'll probably be doing the more airline stuff tomorrow in the lovely 350, but I wanted to take a break from that. I wanted to get back into what I would call some of my roots in aviation when I was a corporate pilot. For those that don't know, I did fly corporate jets around for a little bit before I got into the airlines. And today I'm going to take you through a typical day of what we go through. Now, we have the lovely tool of SimBrief and Navigraph to make things a little bit easier and quicker. So as far as the flight planning thing goes, I'm probably going to leave that out. But as far as everything else, we're going to kind of go through the motions here. We're going to go through our contingencies, look at our fuel, look at our loading. We'll make sure everything is good to go, and then we're going to try to be as expedient as possible, and then we're also going to try to fly as smooth as possible. So I'm really going to try to focus today on actually flying the airplane, not just on stream in front of you guys, but to kind of fly the airplane how I would try to fly it if I was actually doing a corporate trip today. So good to see everybody here in the house. Scott Raleigh, what's going on, man? Fubar, good to see you as well. Shaquille Oatmeal, what is going on, man? Yeah, you got a little hashtag face reveal there, Shaquille, for sure, man. That was that picture was taken in a Citation 550, I believe. Back in the day, man. Yes, this is what I cut my teeth on. The first jets I flew were corporate jets, were Citations. So never flew the Phenom 300, but I think it's a beautiful, beautiful airplane. And the sun is starting to rise here in the mountains of Colorado. So let's do first things first. And oh my goodness, before I do that, I noticed Dougal McTavish has entered the chat. Dougal, good to see you here, man. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope everything is well with you, Dougal. I hope recovery is coming along. It's been a couple of days, been a couple of weeks since I've seen you here around in chat. I'm glad to have you here, man. Welcome aboard, dude. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the airplane here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pull up my... what do we got? Ground options here, and then we're going to get some ground power hooked up, and I'm going to just defuel the airplane. We came in pretty much on fumes last time, so we're just going to leave it like that. And then what I want to do here is I want to open the GPU panel, connect the ground power unit, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and go through a kind of a little mini flow here. We're going to go battery 1, battery 2, get those online. Let me get my audio levels corrected here. And GPU on. Yes, sir. Power it up here. That looks good to me. Enter rightmost soft key. We do have a current nav database here in the Phenom 300, so that is good. And then, of course, we want to go ahead and get our nav lights on. And now for the walk around here, I'm going to go ahead and turn on all my lights. I turn on my strobes. And we're going to go ahead and kind of simulate a little walk around out here on the outside of the airplane. So, of course, oh, got the cockpit TOS system check there. That's awesome. All right, so we're coming out here. Make sure your fuel caps are sealed. Ours were always red, so that one's white, but it might just be a livery thing. Come around here, we're checking our nav lights, make sure that they are illuminating, make sure there's nothing missing here on the wing tips. All our static wicks are in good working order. Take a feel of the aileron here. Now this is the aileron trim tab. So when you're using the autopilot, it's actually moving this little trim tab here, not this whole piece of aileron. But I shouldn't really say that because I guess when it moves the trim tab, in turn, the whole aileron moves aerodynamically, but when the autopilot's flying, it's using those little autopilot trim tabs. At least that's how it was on the Citation here. We got our spoid brakes there down and stowed. That is good. Come up here to the GPU panel. It's always cool to see that. Again, you don't want to come under here when the engine's running if you can help it, so that's why we like to start 2 first. Real quick, this is one thing I wanted to talk about. I know we like to do some learning on the channel. I mentioned trailing link gear before, and I got a couple questions. So a trailing link gear, a lot of light corporate jets have them, make landings super buttery, especially if they're not the best of landings. Now, you can still land it hard, don't get me wrong, but when you have a trailing link gear system, you can really butter the bread here, even if the landing isn't what you may think on the VSI. So for the reason for that is we have what we call trailing link. So you can see this big Y joint here, and we've got this piston going through here, and then the gear itself is actually trailing behind this link. So you've got the gear behind the link, and hence the word trailing link. So this really acts as kind of a shock absorption. You also have your shock absorbing struts right here, but as the wheels kind of touch the ground, they're able to pivot here on this trailing link, and it really adds for additional shock absorption upon touchdown. So it really does make for buttery smooth landings. Glad to see that. While we're under here, I'm just going to go ahead and pull the chocks out. while we're underneath here. Come up here, make sure we get our bags loaded in here. That looks good. Don't hit your head on the door here. Now, as you can see, it's kind of ironic. That's the old airplane I used to fly. So the clamshell reversers, you would really bang your head on those if you weren't paying attention. Every Citation pilot has a nice little bump on their forehead from when they were loading bags. But Phenom, a little bit higher, a little bit more ergonomical to get in there and load stuff. So that's good. So coming around the backhand side of the airplane here, make sure all the doors and hatches are closed. Things are looking good. Make sure the gear is in good working order. Same thing, come out here to the wingtips. We got our static wicks looking good. Position light is on the back side of the wing. Leading edge is in good working order. There we go. Rule says would be great showing the night cockpit lighting. Yeah, so I actually did a flight at night with the cockpit lighting, and it was pretty sweet. So we got our strobe lights working there. Nav lights are on, so last thing we want to check is we want to come down here and we want to check our nose gear. Looks pretty good. And we got all of our lights on down there, and we got our strobe working down there at the bottom. So our walk around is complete. Let's just take a moment and enjoy these engine models right here. I love this engine model. Look at this. That is just absolute juice. It is X-Plane 11. It is definitely X-Plane 11, DeVille. Welcome. Shaquille says, keep smiling. It looks good on you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. All right, look, we can even see into the lav. Check this out. We can see into the lav from the outside. All right. That was our fun little pre-flight walk around. Let's get back into the cockpit here, back to the business end of the jet, and let's go over some stuff here. So I've got our flight plan actually loaded already in Avitab. Our first leg today is going to be from Telluride to Salt Lake City. We're going to drop off some of our customers, and we're going to pick up 2 more and head up to Jackson Hole. Jack Mackey, what is up, man? Welcome to the stream. Welcome aboard. So there's a kind of an overview of our flight. Let's go ahead and scroll through here. Let's get down to our nitty-gritty of the route. We're going to come over here to this side. And let's go ahead and pull this up. Flight plan, menu. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this flight plan here. This looks like leftover from when we flew in here. All right, so we got Telluride. From Telluride, we're going direct to ETL, Echo Tango Lima. Enter that. Cones. From Cones, we're going direct to Junction, I believe. JNC. JNC. We'll enter that. Grand Junction. There we go. All right, so I got to remember how to do this. We can enter airways here. Menu. There we go. Load airway. So you guys let me know last time. Load airway. J12. I do not see J12 on there. Oh, there it is. I had to scroll down one. J12. Exit at helper. Enter. Load. Look at that. JNC, airway J12 to helper. That is awesome. And then we're going to join the Lehigh 5. So I'm going to go all the way down here to the bottom. I'm going to load in KSLC first. That's our destination. Oops. Got to go back. SLC. Enter that. And then we're going to go ahead procedure, select arrival, and we're going to be doing the Lehigh. Lehigh 5 off of helper. Love it when a plan comes together. And let's plan for, let's actually look up the runway that we're going to be going into as well in Salt Lake, because we do land on the east side, if I'm not mistaken, for corporate jets, the jet center over there. This is X-Plane 11, man. Swappy, yes, he says, nice Phenom stream. Love this plane. Welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard, Swappy. Yeah, we are simulating a day in the life of a corporate pilot. So we got to the airplane early. We did a quick walk around. All our lights work. Speaking of, before I continue on with this, I should shut off our lights up here because we don't want to be sitting on the ramp with everything blaring. So we'll turn those off. We'll keep the nav lights on. We'll turn the strobes off. Now we can go back to our flight planning. But yeah, we did a little walk around. We're at the airport early. Before the clients get here, you always want to show up early. The worst feeling ever for a corporate guy is to show up at the jet and your clients are already there. That is not good. You never want to have that. So yeah, we want to land on 3.5 or 1.7. Let's see what the winds are doing over there. Salt Lake City right now is reporting 180 at 6. So we'll plan to land runway 17 actually. That makes our nice short taxi. We'll just load that arrival for now. Then we no longer need Salt Lake information on there. All we need is Telluride. Telluride Airport 10-9 page. Get that in here. Golden State says, I really don't know how to insert a flight plan anywhere but a McDo. This is a nice, helpful way to learn. Golden State, yeah. And so actually I learned from you guys. So again, when you come down here and you select your flight plan key and you're loading your flight plan, to get to the airways, you just go menu and then you go select airway. Or load airway, excuse me. So again, it's I learned that from the last flight that we did, which was a big help. So thank you guys. Shout out to you guys for getting me on that. But other than that, the Phenom makes it very easy with the G1000, the keypad. You can also press K and use your keyboard to type if you've got a really lengthy flight plan. But I mean, I just love interacting with this cockpit because it is so snappy and quick, and it really does feel good. So we've got that loaded in there. Let's come back and let's go through our checklist here. So let's go ahead and go home page, charts. Oops, I got to close this one for now. We're going to go manuals, Aerobasque Phenom, normal checklist. Let's do kind of a before start preliminary. So before I actually pull the checklist, let's do our flow. Would like to see the Falcon 8X come out. Me too, man. I am pumped for the Falcon 8X. All right, so let's come down here. This is the CVR stuff. That's interesting that we have that. We'll go ahead, push to restore oxygen, passenger auto. That is good. Is there a test function on this one? I don't believe so. It's over here, but not functional. That's okay. Wow, I'm surprised it's not modeled. They modeled pretty much everything on this jet. All right, so bus tie is an auto, electrical is auto, GPU is in use, so that's okay. We're going to go bleed to the auto position, pneumatic cross bleed into the auto position as well. Now let's go ahead and do our rotary test. So we're going to go to fire, and we're going to press and hold fire push button. There's our lights. So we're definitely just going to do this first flight of the day here, smoke detection. Fire. And then our annunciators. Look around the cockpit. All our annunciators are on. That's good. Off. Stall protection. Watch the yoke. Stick pusher. That is pretty sweet. Now, ice protection we can't do until our N1s are over, I believe, 70%. I'm curious, though. If we do stick pusher cutout, and then we test the stall. I guess it doesn't work that way. So yeah, but you got your stick pusher there, really cool. Almost like a fly-by-wire type thing from Airbus where they have that protection from when you start to have a high alpha situation. All right, so behind here, we're going to go ahead and open the hydraulics. ELT is armed. Pumps are in auto, correct? They are in auto. Crossfeed is off. We've already tested the pusher cutout switch. That works. Windshield heating is off. Probes are in auto. Ice protection off. Wing stab off. Inspection, we should have turned on that light to make sure it was working. Real quick, we'll come over here. Let's look at our systems on board the aircraft right now. We're getting 28 volts of current from our GPU, powering our central bus, which then in turn powers each bus, DC bus 1 and 2. Everything looks good there. Batteries are charged. Looking good. You thought today was 350 day. Min, I need more time learning it. Tomorrow is 350 day. Tomorrow is 350 day for sure. I got to come up with a good route for it, but tomorrow will be 350 day, guys. Today is Phenom day. All right, system. I guess fuel. We can reset our calculation. We have 784 remaining. That's fine. We're going to load up the fuel here in a bit. Let's go back out of that. Let's go to electrical page. We looked at that. Our fuel page. We got to get fuel right now, so we're going to do that next. Anti-ice system is off, and our status page. I'm going to keep that page open for now. All right. And you know what? I don't think we need hydraulics right now. Let's go ahead and turn those off so we're not listening to that running. Let's go ahead and look at our fuel situation. So, according to, let's close this. Let's go up one directory. Let's do our first leg, Telluride to Salt Lake. Let's look up our fuel loading here. All right, gate fuel for us is 1,800 pounds. We're going to call it a 1,900. Our min takeoff is 1,726. We got a burn up to Salt Lake today of 1,000 pounds of fuel. So we're going to make sure we get our fuel properly loaded. Let's go to the open fuel panel, and we're going to camera over to the fuel panel. I love this. We're going to go ahead and open the knob there. Turn the power on to that. All right, tank selection. We can do left, right, or total fuel. We want total fuel, and we want 1886, so let's round it up 100 pounds. It's got one kid. Let's do 1,900 pounds of fuel out of here. Telluride is one of those where I love taking extra gas, but trying to get out, you don't want to be too heavy, right? So we got to be careful with our extra. Seven, 8, 1,900 pounds even. Go ahead and open the refuel, and there we go. Aircraft is fueling. Absolutely love it. We could also probably pull up our fuel page here. We could see that it is indeed fueling. All right. So aircraft is being fueled. Our pre-flight's complete. Everything's been removed. Now we can start getting ready to get the passengers on board and get out of here. Got my coffee going this morning. Oscar, you like the T-tail aircraft? I agree. T-tail jets look pretty sweet. Flying a T-tail is interesting, especially if you start getting slow coming in and landing. Those T-tails stop flying on you. Not very fun. All right. While we're getting fuel, I guess now would be a good time to go through our checklist. And that way, as soon as the passengers show up, we're out of here. And normal checklist. Here we go. All right, pre-flight tests. Pre-flight and tests are completed. Oxygen bottle is pushed. Passenger is in auto position. Oxygen pressurization is satisfactory for dispatch. Electric panel 27 volts. GPU is required. Bleed panel is in all auto. Fuel panel pumps auto crossfeed off. Hydraulic pumps. Let's go ahead and open them up now. Pusher cutout. We did that. Pushed out. Ice protection off as required. Pressurization aircraft panel checked. So how we do that, I'm coming over here. I'm going to look at my landing field elevation of Salt Lake, 4227. That looks good. That's already preset for me. Cabin altitude, 9150. Engine fire panel pushed out, bottle off. We did that. Start, stop, and EIS is stop and off times 2. So they are stop and off times 2. That is correct. Ignition, both auto. Thrust levers are idle. Flaps and speed brakes are up and closed. Parking brake is set, and we're going to close the doors here. So before we do that, last couple preparations here while we still got fueling. We're still waiting on people to show up. We're going to look at the performance page. And we're going to be doing a N1 takeoff anti-ice off. So let's go ahead and flap 1 dry runway, wing stab off. What is our weight today going to be? I know they did something with the push button over here, and I don't remember where it was, so you could pull up the Aerobask push button instead of looking over here on the FB. I know there's another hot spot to click, but I'll do it this way. Our pounds, or maximum, our total mass right now is 6.7. We'll call it 6.8. This is temperature outside now of 4 degrees, which is ISA plus 7, so we'll call it 5. And our weight of the aircraft is 6.7, so we'll take 6.8, which is right here. 103, 103, a 116 for the V speeds. So let's go ahead and set those. 103, 103, 116 is set. All right, V speeds are set. Let's camera to the fuel panel. Are we done taking fuel? Hold on, open you back up. Yep, we're good here, so let's go ahead and close the refuel. That comes off. We'll go ahead and power selection off. Close that up, close the hatch. We're pretty much ready to go. Set pressurization to ECS both. Now, I'm pretty sure I thought you do that after start. Was that before start? I guess we can do it before start. Doesn't really matter, I guess. All right, auto is set. That is good. Air conditioning is off for now. And I guess passengers are showing up. So we'll go ahead and let's close the forward, aft, passenger door, closing up all hatches. Got the V1 logo on the door. I love it. Let me check something real quick here. That's pressure altitude. We need a little bit more. Here we go. Wing stab off at 4,000 feet. Yeah, we're at Telluride 6.8. It's probably going to be a little bit higher. 101, 101, 113. Crisis averted. 101, 101, 113. There we go. For our field elevation, because we are sitting up high altitude and we're not down low level anymore. So that's good. As far as top altitude, we don't have any ATC, so we're going to set our top altitude right here of 310. We may bump that up. Actually, check this out. What am I doing? 31,000 feet. Enter. Boom. And current altimeter outside is 29086. That looks good. All right, and just before we start engines, we're departing off of runway. What is the wind again? Wind 170 at 1.8. So, almost a direct crosswind. I guess we'll take off runway 9er. Hold on. Back. There's no departure. Reference charts. Overview. I know there is a stipulation about departing runways. After start for the ECS. Okay. That's what I figured. I normally always set that after start anyway. So that's off for now. Overview. We know about this. 2.7 I think is where we want to blast. We don't want to take off 9. We want to take off 2.7. We're going to take off 2.7. Avoid the terrain. It's a crosswind either way. We're going to take 2.7, so it's going to be a left turn alpha 4. I think we're ready to go. Are you guys ready to go? I think I'm ready. Passengers are in the back. They're loaded up. Let's close him off. Let's do our normal checklist items here. We already did the before start. That's complete, so we have after starts next. We're ready to start them up. You guys ready? Everything else is off. Engines will automatically start the beacon light. We're going to go ahead and start engine 2 on the GPU first and enjoy the engine start sounds. Whoa, I think we're ready. Apparently my phone started playing the stream. Love that sound. Good start on engine number 2. We don't need this page anymore. We'll go EIS on full. And let's go ahead. Oh, you know what? I screwed the ground crew, guys. Sorry, dudes. I was supposed to pull the GPU there. Already made my first mistake of the day. It's alright. We're going to send Captain Tom under the running engine to pull the GPU plug. Very quiet from the inside, as it is in real life, but the sounds are fantastic. All right, so I apologize to the GPU guys. We got 2 good starts. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the GPU power though. Verify that we are on aircraft power. We could see Gen 1 and Gen 2 is now powering the electrical system, so it is basically what we call like a dead switch out there. So they're good to go ahead and pull the plug. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and do it myself because I feel bad. So let's camera to the fuel panel. We're going to crawl under the wing here. Apologize, Captain Tom, or any of my rampers out there. You're good to pull the plug. Close it up. Then they can walk away. Then they'll come to the front of the aircraft, give me the sign that they are free and clear. Let's do our after starts. That's going to go to both. We'll go medium, the fans. And emergency lights need to be armed, which is something I missed in my pre-flight. There we go. All right, we got 2 good starts. After start checklist. GPU disconnected as required. Electric EMR power 23.5 pushed out. Now that is something I'm not quite sure I'm supposed to do. I'll have to look that one up. Basically, I think you're testing your emergency generator power. Stall protection tested. Takeoff data set. Trims. Raw, rudder, and yaw. 00 pitch green. I'm going to just trim the pitch. I'm keeping it in the green, but I'm going to move it down just a tad. Trims are set. Flight control speed brake checked. Ice protection as required. Flaps coming to 1 for takeoff. And let's get out of here. We got a Phenom taxiing out. That's awesome. Landing lights coming to taxi. Brakes released. Cinematic taxi out here to runway 27. Telluridetraffic.com 357 taxi and 27 via Alpha. It is a left turn out, right? All right. 10-9 page, it is a left turn. 27 Alpha Alpha 4. We are good here. I'm going to spin my heading bug when we get down there. We're going to basically just fly a heading outbound, then I'll redirect us direct to Grand Junction, and then we'll be on our way. Clear Direct Fubar says this airplane has a lot of nice features. I totally agree, man. I can't speak highly enough about this airplane. And the texturing is top notch. So is the modeling. Max Rank, what's going on, man? Hey, I saw your message in the DM, dude. I'm sorry I didn't get back to respond to you yet. But I am going to have to ask you how two Aussies ended up in St. Louis, for sure. But glad to see you here, Max. Welcome aboard, man. We're just taxiing out for leg 1 today. We're loaded up. Everyone's done skiing. We're going to drop a couple people off in Salt Lake. And then from there, we're going to run up to Jackson Hole. Check out the beautiful Orbix Jackson Hole scenery. Actually, I believe it's done by Exonos software. I do have the link in the Nightbot commands. Once we get up there, it'll be exclamation point scenery. I believe it's sold by Orbix, but Exonos puts it out. It's their airport, so fantastic stuff. Robert S., welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome to the stream. Just in time. We're going to give this guy some spacing here as well. 22.8. I want to make sure my volume on VATSIM is good. It is. All right. He's covered in snow. I think he needs to get some de-icing. Yeah, that's illegal, my friend. Go ahead and kill the light here. We'll give him some spacing as he gets out of here. Real easy on the brakes. I'm just going to let the airplane kind of roll to a stop. Brakes are set. Let's go ahead and run through a checklist while he is getting out of here. All right, takeoff config. Actually, you know what? We got to do that. Oh, let's watch his departure first. Let's watch it off this wing view here. Yeah, Christian says Jackson Hole is made by Exonos and Orbix is one of the publishers. There we go. Thank you. What state is Tex? That's Telluride. Telluride, Colorado. Oh boy, someone rang my doorbell? I didn't even know we had a doorbell. That's going to make some PTU noise. All right, let's do a quick flight control check. Flight controls are good, and rudders are good. And I'm going to release the parking brake, takeoff config. Takeoff okay. Go ahead, reset you real quick. Takeoff config check. CAS is checked and clear. Signs are PED and belts off. That's set. Ice protection as required. ATR be green. Passenger advised. External lights as required. Transponder on altitude. Let's do transponder mode. We'll do auto. Telluridetraffic.com 357. Taking runway 27, departing to the north. Telluride. Light it up. I didn't know the Phenom had a PTU. I didn't know the Phenom had a PTU, and I didn't know we had a doorbell. I love the sounds on this airplane. It's unbelievable. Pretty much on-course heading is almost straight out, so we'll just sync our heading bug. Let me come down here and get my roll FD takeoff mode. Have a sing-along going on in the background? Oh boy. How do you not know if you have a doorbell? Well, we just built the house, and I just, no one has ever rang the doorbell. Literally, no one. All right, runway heading checks. Let's go ahead and sync that up real quick. You guys ready to get out of here? Let's spool it up 50. Here we go. Toga. Beautiful. All right, let's try to be professional, though. This is a professional stream, right? So let's get on center line before my critics come after me. $80 knots. Ooh, a little stagnation on airspeed. Might be a little windy out there. V1, rotate. Oh yeah, nice little crosswind, positive rate. You're up. Jeez, right into a 20-knot wind. Let's do a flyby. Absolutely awesome. I'm gonna go roll pitch. Come up to 15. A little steep, we'll do 10. Flap 0. Do another flyby shot here. This is so beautiful with the sun in the background. Alright, let's go ahead and go flight plan. Oops. A little bit of turbulence. Direct ETL activate.
Telluride traffic, exec jet 915, taking runway 27, will be departing out to the west.
My ears. TellurideTraffic.com 357. We're 12,000 west of the field, out to Cones. Last call, Telluride. Alright, let's go flight level change. Oh, I screwed it up. I screwed it up. That's a big... not good right there. So I thought I had flight level change on speed mode, like I had it in the settings, but that's not how the real airplane works. I'm going to explain that here in a second. Let me get everything back under control. I'm going to explain exactly what I did wrong there. Alright, so... oh, that was VNAV. Where's the nav button? There we go. So there's a setting where you can do, every time you select flight level change, your speed will sync with your speed tape. That's not how the real airplane works. My selected speed was 89 knots. I selected flight level change with the autopilot engage. So what happens is the airplane immediately begins pitching for 89 knots. Not a good situation, can definitely get you in trouble. So there is that setting over here. If you go to more options, G1000 flight level change mode does not sync with autopilot. That's the most realistic way to do it, but it's also, you really got to be on your game. So in real life here, let's go vertical speed. I'm going to go ahead and decrease my vertical speed slowly here until I can get to my indicated speed, and then I'll go fly level change. But I got used to having that automatic selected change there. Every time I hit flight level change, it would just sync with my indicated. It's a nice feature. Makes it a heck of a lot easier to fly, but it's not realistic. So I wanted to try to simulate this as realistic as possible. Let's enjoy some of this here. Definitely a little bumpy, man. It's gusting like 20-something knots right now. But look at that beautiful terrain, though. Let's do another flyby. Hit the like button for X Enviro. Are you kidding me? 183 watching, 64 likes. Apologize about the ears. Let's turn it down a little bit. Flight level change at 200. I believe it's like 160-ish, right? So we're going to walk it back a little bit. Also left the thrust up there. All right, we're flight level change mode. I'm walking it back nice and slow to 200. Oh, whoa, I don't know what happened to the stream right there. Are you guys still with me? I don't know what happened to the stream. Apologize for that, guys. But we're back on it now. Shouldn't you dial the power back to climb mode? Yes, I also forgot that. How am I already at 18,000 feet? Well, I had the power in a little bit too long. I should have went back to continuous climb out of acceleration altitude. But you got to remember, we're taking off pretty high altitude already, so it's a shorter climb. Looks like we're in the turn already. Flyby shot. Okay, you're with me. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I totally lost the stream. It just went completely dark there. It wasn't an internet issue. It was just Streamlabs decided to hiccup. Yeah, Christian, I took off from 9,000 foot field elevation, so it's only, what, less than 9,000 feet to get up to 18,000? Look at that shot, though, right there. That is absolutely gorgeous. You know, I'm going to do flight level change syncs with autopilot speed just to make my life a little bit easier while we're streaming. But everything else looks good there. We're out of 18. Standard is set 2992. Climbing up to 310. Resync the heading bug. Let's pull up an after takeoff. Make sure we got everything going here. Landing gear is up. Flaps are up. Yaw damper is on. Thrust levers are an MCT climb, which they are. I left them in Toga a little bit too long. But there's also limitations on that, depending on, I don't know what the limitation is for this engine, but just like the Airbus, you can go Toga thrust, but it's dependent upon how long you can be in Toga. And taking off at a Telluride, you might leave them in there a little bit longer just so you get up, give yourself some altitude, right? Altitude below you is insurance. So, but I do agree that I left them in Toga. I just forgot about them. Thrust levers are MCT now, though. Pressurization is checked. We are climbing up. 5.5 on the Delta P. That looks good. Altimeter is cross-checked 2992. Ice protection is off. We don't need it. Ice and external lights are as required. So we're rocking and rolling now. We're cooking with gas. Man, that crosswind is pretty wicked, huh? Let's go ahead and turn the signs off. Let them roam. Take a look at our flight plan here. Zoom our range out a little bit. We filed 31. I'm going to change. I'm going to go. I think we'll save a little bit of gas. Let's go to 30. Let's go to 35. 35,000 feet set. I'm going to walk this speed back here a little bit. So in flight level change, when you're trying to be as smooth as possible, 1 knot at a time here. See how I'm walking it back nice and slow? If I were to just rip that back to 180, the airplane's going to pitch up chasing that 180 bug. That's exactly what happened to me on takeoff when I hit flight level change and I improperly had my speed bug set. Caused that massive pitch up. Take control of the airplane, autopilot off. Don't let it get away from you, but because it can get you in trouble. It can get you in trouble, so you got to be careful with that. I might do a separate video just going into the detail of flight level change mode versus vertical speed. You know, thrust on elevator, or speed on elevator versus speed on thrust modes. That is just stunning out of here right now with X Enviro. Toga Ollie T, thank you. Toga is 5 minutes. It just says just below the before takeoff checklist box. Oh, does it really? Look at that. Look, this is what I'm talking about. These guys are this airplane just blows my mind. Reminder, Toga, 5 minute maximum. So someone might have to go back and tag it. I don't know. I don't think we exceeded 5 minute maximum at Toga, but we were probably getting close. But 5 minute maximum on Toga. Even has a reminder. Little to no flare at VREF. I totally missed that. But we're looking good now. Let's go ahead and turn it down just... Well, I'm not going to go outside yet. We want to make sure everything is looking good here. We're 31.3, climbing 350. I'm going to pull up the systems page. Let's go ahead and verify everything here. I'm going to minimize this to the short EIS, a lot of numbers. Electrical page, still everything is looking good. How's our fuel doing? 501 pounds used. We got 1,400 on board. We're looking good. Anti-ice is off, but we have pressure if we need it. Status of the aircraft. Our SAT is minus 47, TAT minus 44. True airspeed of 313 knots. Flight ID 66 Mike. That's pretty cool. I wonder if I can change that. Everything else is in the green. Hydraulic pressure, oxygen, brake pressure accumulate. We're looking good, guys. So we'll go ahead and turn that off. Zoom my range down a little bit. 33, climbing 350. We got the PTUs running again. I apologize for that. Now we're going to look at our performance manual here. We're going to look at some cruise power settings for 35. I believe we need to go to page 63 on this one. Nuno says, don't touch the flight level change altitude. I used to set 205 knots to 400, and after 30, it adjusts the vertical speed and indicated by itself up to 400. Really, Nuno? Wow. All right, this is still simplified takeoff analysis. We need to go to 63. All right, max cruise speed. There's our 1,000 foot to go. We're going to be fighting a nice little headwind here. I'm going to shorten us up here. I'm going to go flight plan. Being a good corporate pilot here. Always trying to get shortcuts, right? Let's go direct to Riffman. Activate. We're going to cut the corner. We're not going all the way out to junction. All right, we're leveled off at 350. I'm going to let my speed continue to build up a little bit here. And then we're going to bring it back to our cruise. So cruise speed at 35,000 feet. Max cruise, 7.7 Mach, about 287 kilograms per hour. Wish I had pounds here, but they already told me that's not going to happen. Long range Q N1 at 35 is 74%. So N1 for 7.4 is going to be about 81%. Let's go ahead and start walking it back just a little bit here. Let's see what our max cruise FADEC gives us. About 87% N1 for the max cruise FADEC. So that should... 81, 35. We should be able to do 7.7. We might be a little bit low. Let's strive for 7.6. Let's see if we can do 7.6 here. And then we'll walk it back. We got to keep an eye on the fuel too. Go ahead and bring that back out to full screen. Resync our heading bug here. We're trying to keep everything nice and neat. Flyby shot, and we'll park it outside a little bit here. Ace said I'm doing the same exact flight in the citation, and the wind was the same during takeoff. I almost died. Ace, yeah, I guess I didn't really focus on that wind there. I didn't think it was too bad, and then as soon as I took off, oh yeah, see, look, 190 at 7, gust to 22. We definitely had some gusts there. I know I'm struggling to keep that center line, and then right after rotation, man, it just started pushing me. You got to get that bank in there. It's all right. It's the first leg of the day. We're warming up, right? We're warming up. Just tell the boss, hey, man, it's just how it is. It's just really, really windy in here. Nothing I can do about it. Hopefully he's not a nervous flyer. Our speed is coming up nicely. Our fuel burn, though, is a little bit high. It's a little bit concerning on this. 87% N1. We're burning 654 pounds an hour. I'm going to have to walk that back. I'm going to walk. Let's go to 81. So I'm going to bring our N1s to 81%. Look at the difference in fuel, guys. So this is one thing that I learned early on, actually, in my private pilot cross-country flying days. So a little lesson for you all here. My instructor was telling me, and I'll never forget, because at that point in my life when I was going through my private pilot training, I thought that the corporate side of aviation was where I wanted to spend most of my career. And he knew that, and so he would, tell me tips, and he thought corporate jets were cool and all that. But on our first cross-country, he was telling me about the relationship between your arrival time change or your estimated time en route versus your fuel burn with correlation to your N1s. And in light GA aircraft, it's not crazy because, 172 or 152, whatever you're flying. I know a lot of you guys flying the Diamonds now, the diesels. They're pretty efficient for the most part, unless you're going wide open. But when you start talking about jets specifically, or even turboprops, we can do an 8.6 climb here. So I'm going to do an 8.6 cruise. Let me bump it up here. I'm going to go 8.6 on the N1 because that was about our max cruise. Look at our fuel flow. 613 pounds per hour per engine. Okay. Now, if I back that off just to about 81%, that is literally going to be probably less than 3 minutes of flight time difference. But look at the fuel. Now you're down to 415 pounds an hour. So you're talking 200 pounds plus per hour difference per engine. And it's only going to save you a minute or two, maybe 3 minutes, depending on what. This doesn't even seem to really change up here because we're going direct to it. But I mean, it's literally only about a minute or two savings. But you're talking about 400 pounds total plus an hour that you can save by just walking that thrust back a little bit. So I know it's tempting for us to get in here and stick these right to the max cruise detent and just let it rip. Now, if you got the fuel, and of course we're all on X-Plane, right? We're not paying for it, so it's not a big deal. Personally, I'm all about flying fast. I like to go, if I wanted to fly slow, I'd be sitting in a Twin Otter or something. But it's all about that balance of speed and arrival versus how much fuel savings you're going to save. Can you save your boss some money? Because at the end of the day, your boss pays you, right? And then anytime there's a financial hiccup in the corporate industry, especially when we talk on the 91 side of things, where it's all private owners or a business luxury that they have a jet and it's not a charter operation like a 135, when there's financial problems, the first thing to go is the jet. So you always want to be conscious of fuel burn, fuel savings. You want to be conscious of where you buy fuel. Look at your different options. Look at the different vendors at the FBO, like, who's got a better fuel rate? Do you have discounts? This is all part of the corporate pilot mentality. And I know we got a lot of guys in the Discord stuff that are going through training right now. I don't know what your career aspirations are, if they are to be in the airlines or not. But the corporate game, if that's where you want to be, you want to start developing that thought process right now as you're going through training, because that's really going to make you stand out from the slew of other pilots that want to be corporate pilots as well, right? What makes an outstanding corporate pilot versus just a good corporate pilot are little things. You both can fly airplanes. You probably wouldn't be working or be hired by anybody if you couldn't fly, right? So you both know how to fly a jet. But what are the little things that stand out that make you an outstanding corporate pilot versus just the average or the good corporate pilot? Little things like this. I'm getting a little noise here in my throttles. There we go. So back to 80.7. Look, we're still cooking here. We're almost doing 7.6. We're doing about 7.5. We're doing 7.4. So we're going to be doing 7.5 here momentarily. And we're back down to 387 pounds per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with that now. I want to save a little bit of gas here. We'll do a 80% N1 cruise here. My throttles keep walking up on me. I'm trying to set them right about 80%. There we go. We'll set them at 80% thrust. 7.5 is plenty fast. 360 on the pounds per hour. We're looking good. So that's just my opinion on that corporate little tidbit there. I'll hopefully be able to give you guys some more tips here as we continue to move on. Let me go ahead and turn the volume down. We'll go outside. Let's get an X and Viro shot there. A little bit oversaturated on that view, huh? Awesome. All right, now that we have a minute here in cruise, let me get back here. You missed takeoff pitch, Toga on FMA during takeoff. Seen that before? Missed takeoff pitch, Toga. So, Richard, are you talking about my takeoff that I just did? Is it, I thought I pressed the Toga push button on the throttle there, and what that does, it should give you a pitch command for takeoff go around. But what I noticed, when I rotated, the command bars were very low. And that has to do with the performance of the airplane, right? We're taking off 9,000 feet. So we're down at sea level. That pitch command may be different than what up at 9,000 feet. So I think I wasn't, I thought I rotated to them. I know it was a much shallower rotation coming out of there because you got to think you're taking off at 9,000 feet. It's a lot different than taking off at sea level. IB's like, V1, I want to go fast, or 2020, was it Ricky Bobby? Dougal says, don't forget to tell the CEO how much you just saved the company. You're absolutely right, Dougal. And that's exactly right. Hey, I saved this much gas coming here, just to let you know. Exactly. Henrik Hansen, thank you so much for the donation, man. The super sticker, it's got the cool emoji. Henrik, thank you so much for your support on the channel, my friend. Thank you very much for that. Glad you're enjoying the content. Good deal. Is that livery available on Discord to download? Swappy, no. This livery is actually a default livery with the airplane. I just threw the V1 logo on the door. I'm still waiting for Jungly to stop playing Digital Combat Simulator and get a V1 livery out there. I think a V1 livery, or if there's any livery creators out there that could have a livery competition, a V1 corporate jet competition livery. But I think this is one of my favorite default liveries that comes with the airplane. And then, yeah, I just threw the V1 logo here on the doorway. Trying to get some of that sun glare, but it kind of over distorts the airplane, I think. Exclamation specs, Blue. Let me scroll back here. I know I missed a couple here. In cruise, you can set the levers to max cruise and press the CSC button. The FADEX will manage N1 to maintain selected speed, although it's not the most responsive. Ollie, okay, so if I set them to max cruise and press the CSC button, the FADEX will manage N1 to maintain selected speed. Really? So let me try that here. So what we're going to do, we're going to go max cruise detent, and I'm going to hit CSC. And I'm going to go ahead and walk my speed back. I want to say 7.4. Let's see if it brings the thrust back. There's got to be an indication, though, that we're in CSC mode, right? Oh, yeah, CSC, auto ATR. Here, they're walking back a little bit. Oh, and that's what you're saying. They're not that responsive. Okay, so it's almost like a poor man's auto thrust. Yeah, see, they're walking back nice and slow. Interesting. I did not know that. Claude, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that, Claude. I don't see a message with your donation, but again, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate your support here on the channel, my friend. Thank you for the $5 super chat. So, guys, what he was saying is, you see how we have CSC here? This is essentially an auto thrust that's not very responsive. So I put the thrust levers into the FADEX position of max cruise. I then select my speed that I want to fly. I want to do 7.5. Oh, see, that's as far back as they can bring it. LIM, 76.6. So that's as far back as the CSC can bring it. Now I wonder if it will start going forward. Interesting. That's pretty cool. No, I'm going to go back to cruise. I'm going to manually control my engines just for fuel. I think it might be a little bit easier. But that would be really nice for a super long cruise, maybe a long-range cruise. But so, yeah, you set into the FADEX detent, set your CSC switch to on, and let the FADEX control the speed for you over here on the speed tape. But all right. All right, we're approaching Riffman, and then after that we're going to be a helper. So we're going to take a look at the arrival here pretty soon. We're going to start planning ahead. Planning ahead for the arrival into Salt Lake. Let me back her out here, get us back outside, enjoy this beautiful bird. Sun is still rising. It is rising, right? Should be. Richard, welcome to Private Pilot. Welcome aboard, my friend. Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks that you have here on the channel. Glad to have you on board the channel, my friend. Welcome. V1 Sim, how many hours can a Cessna Citation X? Oh, you mean how long can it fly? I do not know what the range is on the Citation 10. I know it's pretty good, right? I know the 10 is pretty tight up front. I had a couple buddies that flew the 10. And I was surprised when they said that. Well, the front is tight, huh? Right? And it really is. All right, let's go ahead and load up Salt Lake City. We're going to manage our own descents here. Weather is updated. We got south winds at 6 knots, light rain. Oh my gosh, that's extremely loud. Eddie, coming in with a $3 donation. Thank you so much. He says, so happy to fly with you today. Eddie, was that you flying the Phenom earlier, or were you just happy to fly with me on stream? I appreciate it, Eddie. Welcome aboard. Thank you for your support of the channel, my friend. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. All right, check this out, guys. We got 180 at 6 miles visibility, light rain, snow, mist. Ooh, oh, pretty miserable day. Few at 1900, broken at 32, overcast 4,200 feet, temperature 3, 299 at 3. Okay, so that tells me, let me pull up the arrival. We're on the Lehigh 5. Let me come back here. Let's look at the approaches available for 17. Approaches 16, ILS or localizer 17, yes sir. And let's go back and also pull up the airport page, the 10-9. Henrik Hansen said this is great content. Henrik, thank you, man. I appreciate that. A little bit different flavor today as we are in the Phenom doing a day in the life of a corporate pilot. So, all right, let's see here. We're holding stable. Fuel is good. See, and again, so the weather is kind of bad there in Salt Lake. I want to save fuel, right? There's no sense in getting there fast if you can't get in, and now you don't have any fuel to hold or whatnot. That's all. That's what we call, you know, piss poor planning. All right. So we're going to land 17. We're going to the Jet Center. The Jet Center is over here. I've actually landed here quite a few times in Salt Lake, flying jets in and out of here. I don't remember the last time landing 17, though. I typically normally land in the north, but we're going to land 17. It's going to be a left-hand turnoff, plenty of runway, 9,000 feet long, so we know we're going to be okay with that. We do want to look at the approach here. Where does the arrival bottom us out at? So we're going to come in. The Lehigh, oh, see, you know what? The Lehigh takes us to the south. And I guess it vectors you around. So landing 17, 285 to FFUVOR, then on track to Dreyer, then depicted to Roy. So this takes you way out here on this side of the mountain. So we're going to fly that all the way out to Roy. And we got to load an approach in there. So I'm going to come back over here. Let's mess around with the flight plan a little bit. Let's go back to the flight plan, scroll down, make sure it's in there. There's Roy. So it has Roy and then a vector. That's good, to Salt Lake. So we're going to go procedure. We've already got an arrival in there. We're going to go select approach. We must do the ILS 17 on this one. And I'm going to do it, since we don't have air traffic control, I'm going to load it via... I know Roy is over here, but I don't really want to take it all the way. We're going to take it out of Tukti, as far out. That way, if we want to shorten it up, we'll be able to shorten it up. Ogden, I'm not quite sure where Ogden is in relation to Roy. I think, yeah, see, Roy is right here, then Ogden. We're going to shorten it up. We're just going to load it from Tukti. Enter. Minimums, we need to turn the minimums on. And the baro mins are going to be straight in ILS landing, full lighting available, 1800 RVR, 4419. So I'm going to come over here and just do it this way. Let's go back to the main screen here. I'm going to go 4419, right? 4419, and I'm going to hit enter. Huh, won't let me load it that way. Interesting. We'll do it this way then. Will it let me go that high? It may not let me go that high. 4,000. Yeah, well, 41. 44, we'll call it 20. Enter. Load. All right, so our approach is loaded in there. And we're approaching Helper intersection, right? Yes, we are. After Helper, landing southbound, expect to cross Spain at flight level 190. All right, so we're going to be starting down here. We're going to start stepping down here just past Helper. Right now, things are looking good.
Donation.
Vedic coming in with the $5 bomb. Thank you so much, man, for the donation. I got to scroll my window up here so I can see. He says, thank you for your support, Vedic. Really appreciate it. He says, been watching you for a year or two now, and I can officially say I'm a Boeing to Airbus convert. Keep up the streams. And just one question. Have you ever had an FO absolutely you didn't enjoy flying with? Vedic, thank you so much for your support on the channel, my friend. Really appreciate that again. And to answer your question, yes, I have. And if you're a member of the channel, I told the story of one of my near-death experiences. Not exaggerating at all, really, if you guys heard the podcast. So for the members, I do a podcast every month. Or I used to do it every month. I do it every 2 months now. And on one of my podcast stories, I told the story of an FO that we just did not get along with. But at the end of the day, he ended up saving my life and probably his own life. It was just a bad scenario that you got the human factors element, right? So I don't want to criminalize myself here or anything, but it's on the podcast. If you're a member, you can check it out. But Vedic, you fly this job long enough, you're going to end up flying with guys you don't like. It's just part of the gig. You know, I try to consider myself almost like a chameleon where I can get along with anybody. You know, I'm not a very confrontational person up front, and especially in the cockpit. I mean, we're both there to do a job, right? So you avoid talking about politics, race, religion, and you guys should be good. But there are guys that you just, for some reason, don't get along with, and at the end of the day, you just got to do your job. You're both professionals. Do your job, fly the airplane. You don't have to talk to each other when the parking brake is set, right? But again, thanks for your support, man. I appreciate it. Do I prefer flight level change or VNAV path? Max, if you're talking about for the Phenom specifically, honestly, I kind of prefer the vertical speed, if anything, because I feel like I can calculate better my descents. Now, I know the VNAV path is modeled and everything. I'm not super familiar with it in the G1000. That's one thing I probably should familiarize myself with a little bit more, but when I flew Embraers, when we talk about the 170, 190, we used pretty much flight level change for a lot of stuff. Below 10,000 feet, you use flight level change, and above 10,000 feet, you just don't want to be using flight level change when you're, top of cruise and then you drop it down unless you need to, because it is pretty abrupt. The thrust comes all the way back to idle. But I mean, I kind of use a mix of both. In the Phenom, I'll use a mix of both between flight level change and vertical speed. Matter of fact, let me come over here and go to my flight plan, and I want to see if I can make that a hard altitude. Which one was it here? Spain? So I'm going to make Spain a hard altitude of 19,000, and we're already below it. I'm going to set 190 in the window here. And I'm going to vertical speed us down here, nice and slow. We're going to start walking the airplane down. At the same time, I'm going to start working that back. And then you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go sync here. Flight level change. And now I control my descent path with my thrust. This is kind of what I prefer. I like to nose her over with that vertical speed mode. A little high on profile, not bad. We're about 1,800 feet high on profile. I can start walking that thrust back nice and easy, though. Ollie says the G1000 VNAV gives a required vertical speed, which is very useful. That is very useful. A little bit of a headwind here. We'll catch up to it. All right, let's continue to look here. After Lehigh, we're basically taking the long way around. We got to descend via It's an expect at 19 there. At or above Fairfield at 17. Oh, no, that is a hard altitude of 17. Excuse me. We have a hard altitude of 17 over to the Fairfield VOR. Hard altitude over drive at 15,000. All these are hard altitudes. 11,000, 11,000. So if we get a descend via, which what we can do here is if we catch up to this, which we are, I'm going to continue to catch up to it here. I might try a VNAV path just to see how it handles these restraints, or constraints, I should say. But we're on the way down. Things are looking good. Short hop over to Salt Lake. Miss Jungles, welcome back. Probably missed my comment earlier. Somebody was asking about the livery of this airplane, and I said this is a default livery. I just put the V1 logo on the window because I'm waiting for Mr. Jungles to stop playing DCS and playing around in the clouds and come up with a juicy little Phenom livery. 777, what's going on, man? You didn't miss anything, my friend. We are getting ready to do our first pit stop of the day, Salt Lake, and then we're going to do a quick turn and get out of here and go to Jackson Hole. So we're going to turn this airplane around at Salt Lake City Jet Center. Phenom VNAV path is pretty accurate as long as you set the final altitude of the star, not the final approach fix. Good deal. Yeah, especially on this would hose you because the final approach fix is not connected to the star. So that's that vertical speed there. See that? That's pretty cool. So I'm literally in flight level change mode here. As I bring the thrust back, the airplane is pitching to maintain the selected speed on my speed tape, right? So as I bring the thrust back, it can't maintain that speed unless it pitches over more. So essentially, this is a really nifty tool here in flight level change mode. So you can see I've got so much thrust back that I'm actually descending faster than the required vertical speed. And I'm doing this here intentionally to see if I can kind of work this VNAV caret back up to where it needs to be. But we'll see here. As we go down, it looks like we're getting ready to transition. Well, about 24,000 feet we'll transition out of the Mach. Let's go ahead and get our engine anti-ice on and our windshield heats on as we get ready to descend into the precipitation here. We'll do belts on for now. Let's do some more performance checks here before we get too far ahead of us. We're going to do approach flap 2, landing flap full. We're going to do wing stab on. Actually, are we going to do wing stab on? Stall protection ice speed. You know what? I'm going to set the numbers for wing stab on. So basically what's happening is it's asking me for my performance numbers here. Do I want to calculate my V speeds with the anti-ice for the wing and stab on? Right now it is off, and we can verify that here by pulling up the anti-ice page. You can see our wings and our stab is not heating, but we got our windshield heats on and our engine heats on that lip there of the engine nacelle. Like, oh, that is a beautiful shot. Are you kidding me? Look at the freaking mountains down there with the snow-capped X-Enviro. So I'm going to run with the V-speeds with the ice on in case we need it. Man, X-Enviro doing things right now. Look at the mountains, the snow-capped. Alright, we do need to see our weight though, so we got to try to stay on it here. Our ground options. Our mass is 6. We're going to call it 6,000 for landing probably by the time we get down there. So our weight, make sure we're looking at the right chart here. We'll go 6,000, probably 6,200 to be safe. Approach climb 111, VFS 133.
Donation.
Should areas were conditions where the maximum landing weight was exceeded. No, that's not good. Vincent coming in with a $50 bomb. Vincent, thank you so much for your support, my friend. Thank you for your donation on the channel. He says, V1, thank you for all of the great teaching on the Airbus. I have become a captain in the VA. I fly for all Airbuses 319, 320, 321. Awesome, dude. Your awesome teaching helped me achieve this goal. Thanks again. Vincent, I'm really happy to hear that, man. I'm so happy to hear that you're enjoying the Airbus and you're flying the hell out of the Airbus, all three of them, the 19, 20, and 21. Awesome stuff. Thank you for your support on the channel. I do appreciate that. Glad to have you on board here on the stream. Awesome stuff, my friend. Thank you. All right, flap full, wings tab on. That's for safety, we'll call it 62, 111, and 133. So then we'll come back over here to our V speeds. What did I say it was? Jeez. 111 and 133 for VFS. VREF is 111. Now that might be a tad hot, especially if we don't have... We gotta go ahead and pick up this descent rate. That might be a tad hot, especially if we don't have our anti-ice on. But we are definitely getting high here. So we definitely missed our restriction there. I'm gonna go ahead and keep working that thrust back. And let's go back to our airport star. Good thing we don't have ATC on today, right? Fairfield mandatory at 17,000. I really don't want to use the speed brakes if I can help it. Let's do a flyby shot here. Love the sounds even on descent there. Dogs are going off again. Just a standard day at the V1 household, my friend. I really don't want to use the speed brakes. Fairfield 6 miles, 3,000 feet, 12 miles. Yeah, we're probably gonna miss Fairfield. That's all right. I got chit chatting there, looking at charts and stuff. Try to be better on our way to Jackson Hole. It'll be tight. It'll be tight. After Fairfield, it's drive at 15,000. I don't want her to level. I'm going to go ahead and just set 15 here in the window. And 9, 8. Give me a 500-foot buffer. We're over the top of FFU right about... Now we got a 500-foot buffer. We're all right. We're all right. We're going all the way down to 15,000 now, and then we got one step down to 11,000. Captain Webb, what's up, man? He says, have you been flying the Phenom all of the past 2 days? I just landed in Long Island. Awesome. Said your vids have helped tons. Glad to hear it, man. Glad you're enjoying the Phenom. I love this little bird, dude. Absolutely love it. Look at that freaking descent profile. Jeez, we are dropping down. But I don't want to use those spoid brakes. I hated using the spoid brakes. All right, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and keep her coming back to 250 knots as well. I hated using spoid brakes in the citation. Just felt bad all the time. All right, so we're leveling 15,000. We're back on our profile. Pit and everything else is at 11,000 feet. So if I go flight plan over here, and pit is at 11,000. It's already in the box, so that's good. So if I set 1,000 here, and I go VNAV, will it take me to pit? I guess I maybe have to reset it. It's only 4,000 feet to lose. That's 12 miles. It's basically, it's a 12-mile leg. So essentially, overdrive, you better start down. We'll just flight level change it at 250 down to 11,000 feet. Here we go. 1 mile from drive. Oh, I need to validate the altitude in the flight plan page. I got you, Jojo. I got you. No worries. We're going to flight level change this one down. Flight level change. 250 knots down to 1,000. Mental math tells me it's 12 miles. It's a 12.9 mile segment, so we should be just fine. All right, after this, we're just going to have to self-vector ourselves over to the ILS for 17, and then let's make sure our checklist is ready to go here. 250 knots down to 1,000. 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 250 knots down to 1,0 Just another day flying corporate jets, man. So our descent checklist, briefing complete, landing data is set, windshield heat is on, signs are as required. Ice protection is as required right now. We'll probably turn on that wing stab as we get down there into the clouds. Altimeters, we do need to set those. Altimeters down here are in Salt Lake City, 297 is set. Barrow is set 4420. External lights set, signs are set, and passengers are advised. So we'll turn the lights on at 10,000 feet. You know what I might do here is I might turn on the synthetic vision since we're in the mountains here, right? Let's go more options. Synthetic vision on. Don't crash the sim. Thank you. Synthetic vision is on. Since we're going to be flying in some clouds with terrain. Fubar, no, I will not use the spoy bricks. I will not use the spoy bricks. I'm better than that. We can do it together. Oh, hard altitude. That's probably, yeah, Ollie, I got you. I'll mess with it. You know what I'll do is I'm really going to mess with that VNAV on the next one into Jackson Hole. So this one was pretty simple. We only had 2 step downs. We were 500 feet off on the first one. Close enough for government work. Probably not close enough for the FAA, though, so probably might get a phone call, but we'll be all right. Leveling 1000 here. Get that thrust back in there. You know what? I'm gonna come all the way back to 210. There's no sense in flying outbound away from the airport. So this is another tip, especially if you're being vectored by ATC. I know we're doing our self-vectoring right now, but if we look at the airport chart here, we know we're going to fly basically a beam the touchdown zone, right? Unless air traffic control has a speed restriction for you, there is no sense at flying away from your runway at 250 knots. You might as well slow it down to 210. You might as well slow it to 180 because what they're trying to do is space you in, right? So if they give you a speed restriction, that's fine. You got to do your speed. But if you're doing a self-vector like this, or maybe you're just doing an uncontrolled field, there's no need to fly outbound at 250 knots. Slow it up, get out there, turn inbound, and you'll be good to go. That's just another little pro tip I can give y'all. All right, so 1000 here, getting our thrust back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this one. We no longer need this one. It's basically a heading outbound. And I'm going to go procedure. I'm going to activate the approach. How about that? I'm going to activate the approach. This is going to turn me since we got to turn out. I'm going to go ahead and reduce thrust. We're going to descend to 9,000, flight level change. 200 knots, and our approach initially out there is Ivaki at 9. We're going on. We don't really need to go all the way out to Tutki, but we're going to set 9,000. We're cutting across early here. Getting ready to go through 10,000 feet. Lights are coming on. There's Salt Lake down there somewhere. Webb says, I use spoilers and it gets 4,800 feet a minute. I know, the spoil brakes are vicious on this airplane, man. Especially the way I have my, what's it called, XP Realistic set up. It makes me scared. Like, look here, I'll go ahead and deploy them just so you can see. Like, I've got the vibration set pretty heavily on the spoil brakes. So it makes me really not want to use them. I don't know if I don't think they're that violent in the real airplane, but that's kind of my XP Realistic profile that I have for this jet. I love the synthetic vision, though, coming down here. We start to see those red peaks. What clouds? So, gaming, this is actually X Enviro right now. We're actually rocking X Enviro. On stream, with the Phenom, with weather. I'm going to go ahead and stay 180 knots as well here. Okay, walk it back. 180 knots. My sounds are, I feel like my sounds are, where are my environmental sounds way off? My sounds got all messed up here. Wojtek, good morning, my friend. Wow, that was loud. My ears hurt. Maybe I shouldn't have had them up that loud. I don't want to go all the way out there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go heading. I'm going to square the base to final here. We're going to go heading mode. And I'm going to try to bring myself in over between Ivaki and Prize. So where we go, we'll drop it down to 7,500. Flight level change. Now I believe if I activate vectors to final, won't it change to Loc 1? 111.5, 111.5, 164. Final approach course is 169 though, so I'm going to set 169 here. I'm going to track outbound, and then I'm going to self-vector myself in here. If they were that violent in the KC-135, says Steve. Man, I can't imagine, dude. 1,000 to go. Check. We're in the ice now. Let's go ahead and turn our wing stab on. I'm going to set 180 knots here. There's our localizer antenna. It's picked up. I don't know why it flipped around to 344. Should have stayed on 169. There we go. 169 is set inbound course. 180 knots, 7,500 feet. More cowbell. A snowy morning here in Salt Lake City. I love that engine shot right there. .com 357, fly heading 030, vectors ILS 17 approach. Salt Lake City traffic.com 357, type Phenom 300. We're setting up for about a 10-mile straight in on the ILS 17 Salt Lake. Steve says they were that violent because I think most pilots thought you had to fully deploy them. Oh, instead of just the intermittent. That's funny, man. Alright, fly heading 090. Prize is at 7,500, correct? Double check. It is 7,500. I'm going to go ahead and start slowing down a little bit more here. Let's drop it back to 140. Start slowing up for approach here. The speed seems super low, but... let's continue the right turn, 090. Make it 120 to join. And approach. Loc glide slope is armed. We're coming back to 140 knots. Flaps 1. Alright, so instead of glide slope and Loc blue in the Airbus, we have Loc white and glide slope white. That's Garmin's method of saying armed. .140 knots on the speed. Gosh, this plane is awesome.
Salt Lake City traffic, exec jet 915. We'll be turning base for runway 17. Salt Lake City traffic.
Here comes the localizer. What we say our V speeds were. VREF was 111. Localizer captured. Oh, she's not happy today. Kind of a poor job there on the vectoring. Flew through the localizer. SaltLakeDriving.com 357 joining about an 8 mile final 17 Salt Lake. I think we're a little bit further out than that though. Alright, things are looking up here. Let's go back to our checklist before landing. That's where we're at. I don't know why she's not grabbing a localizer. Seems to be off. Oh, it's coming in. 3-knot wind over the hill there. Is it possible to arm the loc without the slope in the G1000? That's a good question. I don't see a loc. You'd probably have to stay in nav mode and not a vertical nav mode, I guess. We're slowly but surely capturing the loc here. Let's go ahead and go... Well, when's our final approach fix? Not quite there. This airplane has a hard time slowing down. I'm going to go gear down early, just because I'm not comfortable yet slowing her down. Beautiful animation on the gear coming down. Now she's coming back. Flaps 2. I'm going to bug... VREF is 111. I'm going to bug 111. Actually, I'll bug 114. Give myself 3 knots there extra. Still can't quite see the runway. Flaps 3. That crying is just warming me up for child number 2. I know, man. Flaps full. Let's do our landing checklist. Landing gear is down. 3 green. Flaps are set. Yaw damper is on right now. That'll disengage when I shut everything off. Speed brake is closed. Go around altitude is set 7,500. Ice protection as required. Reminder, little to no flare is required. Roger that. Go around altitude is 10,000 actually, so let me go ahead and switch that up here. Set 10,000 in the box. Now, are we flying an offset loc approach? It almost looks like we're flying offset. It shouldn't be offset though. I'm not mistaken. No, it's not offset. We're straight in. We're looking good. Getting a little bit below ref. Let's go ahead and get the power in there.
Exec jet 915. We're sitting at 6.4 ILS 17. Salt Lake City traffic.
Salt Lake City traffic Delta 4663 lining up, taking off runway 16. Salt Lake City traffic.
I think we might be a little bit spicy with that ice speed of 111 in there. Alright, I'm starting to see the runway now. We'll go ahead and disengage the autopilot.
Autopilot.
Don't touch anything. Yaw damper off. It'd be nice to have the bird on this G1000. Alright, so we got auto speed brakes, no reverse thrust, and we're just going to let the airplane slow down. Ref +1, we're looking good. Runway in sight, landing. Salt Lake Traffic.com, 357 short final, 17 Salt Lake. On ref.
500.
A little bit of correction here to the right. We got to go all the way to the end of the runway here, so I'm going to try to do my best touchdown at the very end of the touchdown zone. That way we can just get off the runway and go right to the ramp. We don't have to spend a lot of time taxiing.
200. Minimums.
In sight, landing. 2 whites, 2 reds, we're coming in. Yeah, we're definitely a little, she's,
100.
I can tell she's fast at 111 speed. We'll just kind of float her out here intentionally.
Traffic exec jet 915.
Right about
round mile final,
there.
runway 17. Salt Lake City traffic.
Oh, 50 feet per minute. Yes, sir. Spoilers are up. Ground spoiler. We're going to let her roll. Letting her roll. Now I'm going to start getting on the brakes. Looking good. We'll make the next left. I gotta work on my rudders, man. My rudders. Look at that. 50 feet per minute, 1 foot from center line. I will take that one. I will take that one. All right, we got to clear the runway here. We'll close you. We're going to take, yeah, see how much longer we've got? November. Actually, improperly marked on the chart. We'll go ahead and turn left here. Right at the jet center. That was a butter if I've ever seen one. I'm going to pull a citation max here called clear the runway before the hold short numbers. Somebody will probably report me. And Salt Lake Traffic.com 357 here. We're clear of 17 over to the jet center, Salt Lake. All right, let's clean it up. Flaps are coming up. That goes on. Strobes can come off. We're going to go straight into the ramp. Windshield heats can come off. Off and reset you. I'm going to turn off the synthetic vision. And looks like they're waiting for us over here. Actually, no, we'll go up to, yeah, we'll go up to that building up there.
Salt Lake traffic, exec jet 915, we're off a Kilo 4, tax number 2, land for Kilo, Salt Lake 2 traffic.
So he's coming in here. Looks like he finally got the snow off his airplane, if it was the same guy. We're going to park it right in front of the jet center. And we're going to load up, get some more fuel, and off to Jackson Hole. A cheat here. All right, we are here. Brakes are set. ECS is coming off. And avionics, generators. I'm going to go ahead and kill engine 1. Go ahead and open the GPU panel. Connect ground power for me. GPU power is online. We can see we are connected. Let's go ahead and kill engine 2. These guys are awesome. And we'll go ahead and open it up. And I don't know why I got the battery off. Battery should be on. That's fine. Generator's off. I'm going to go ahead and turn off these for now. We'll go ahead and kill the hydraulics. We'll kill the fuel pumps. And we'll go ahead and kill these. I'm sure my shutdown technique was way off. Oh, I left the ice protection on. That should have been off too. All right, we're here. We're down. After landing, flap speed brake up and close. Exterior lights set. Ice protection as required. Cabin pressure 0.2 or else it wouldn't open up. We're good. That looks good. We are set here, guys. Let's go ahead and clear off. Oh, look at this guy coming in the park right next to me. I love it, man. That's awesome. V1 butter simulations. All right, so we do need to test. We need to see that replay, don't we? So I'm going to have to disconnect from VATSIM here. But look at all the nice jets. I love it. Everyone here just chilling on the Atlantic City or the Atlantic jet ramp. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from the network real quick, then I'm going to reconnect. But we got to see that replay, huh? We got to see that replay mode. So let me go back into the cockpit. Let me go replay mode here. Let me go ahead and turn off fly live for a second. And let's see that touchdown.
Autopilot. 500.
Thank you, Duke. Ollie says, with practice, I can intercept the glide slope at 180 knots and fly 140 till 4 miles out. Whew. All right, I'm going to have to practice that one, man. Yeah, Jojo, the bank anticipation there, that lag when you're joining the low. Same thing. We're right on speed on the way down, though. I think we did a pretty good job on the approach. This is just a beautiful shot there. Sun coming up over the mountains. That's so beautiful, man. I don't know which wing view to sit on. I'm gonna sit right here. What was my favorite airplane I've ever flown? That's a tough question, man. That's a very tough one to answer. Somebody did ask earlier, though, what my if I had to own a GA airplane, I'd own a King Air C90 GTI, and I'd have Phantom 320 fly it for me all the time. He'd be my. But no, I'd probably own a King Air, some type of PT6 driven aircraft, preferably 2 engines. You know, TBM would be nice, but I kind of like the 2-engine idea of things. Let's say a little intentional flow here. Good thing about Part 91 operations, if you don't land in a touchdown zone, it's not a mandatory go-around. But if you go off the end of the runway, the FAA is going to look at that and be like, well, where'd you touch down? Oh, you touched down halfway down the runway? Well, obviously that was stupid, so violation's on you. Say goodbye to your license. No spoid brakes in replay, unfortunately. Dougal? We'll go Dougal view here. Let's watch this trailing link gear. Just worked her down. Man, I'll take that. Where we touched down right here. Almost had that Airbus flare. Almost had the Airbus flare. I just kept it. God, that is one sexy looking airplane though, man. Little Airbus flare, just holding it. Oof. I mean, that is pretty juicy, if I do say so myself. All right, one more. Where did we touch down at? And then I'll put it right there. I'll put the camera right there. So we touched down right about here. Watch the slow-mo, and then we'll get back into the airplane. Literally just holding it, floating like 1 foot off the ground. Oh, just dragged the tires on. Just dragged them onto the pavement. That was awesome. All right, let's kill the replay mode here. Let's connect back to that sim. We're reconnected. Everyone else was trying to get their replays as well. All right, airplane's probably all messed up here. Let me go ahead, open. And I'm going to take a quick lav break, and then we're going to set up the airplane for our quick leg over to Jackson Hole. I'm going to grab a lav break, and I will be right back. We'll fill up the airplane with fuel, and we'll be on our way. Give me about, I don't know, 2 minutes. All right, we are back. We got audio. Things are looking good. Okay, guys, so we're on the ground here. Let me fix my mic. It's falling off. We do have a second flight plan in our charts here that I have downloaded, so we're going to close that one out. We're going to step up. We are now going Salt Lake to Jackson Hole, and I don't think I've ever been to Jackson Hole, so I know a lot of you guys were asking about it. There's our flight plan. Let's hop down to the flight plan section over here. We'll go ahead and get rid of the status page right now. We're going to go flight plan, menu, delete flight plan. So come down here, deleted. Why does it say BTF? We are definitely in SLC. That's interesting. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and remove BTF. Okay. What's going on here? All right, we'll just rock it for a second. Let's see. Salt Lake City to Holter, Holtr, enter. And then from Holter, Ebaca, Ebaca, enter. I have a feeling this is going to be messed up because it should be Salt Lake to something here. Leidy, Leidy, Lei. DY, enter. Oop, that's a Victor. Let's go back. Backspace. Yankee, enter. DNW, Delta November Whiskey. Direct. Oh, wait a second. Our alternate is Salt Lake, so we got to come back here. So we're going to have a little extra gas on this one. Enter. Salt Lake City to Jackson Hole. That looks good right there. Let's go ahead and close you for now. Come back to this page. We'll go ahead and get the CDI back to FMS. Over there, that looks good. Barrows. Let's see, time of reference. Minimums, we're going to turn you off. So we'll go ahead and turn you off for now. That looks good. And let's do a quick look at our fuel load requirement here. So we're going to arrow, let's go camera over to the fuel panel, open you up, tank selection. What do we got? Aliska, did I miss a new membership when I was away? Thank you so much for joining the channel, my friend. Exclamation point, welcome. For more information on your perks, man, glad to have you on board. Glad to have new members to the channel. You guys are awesome. All your new member content will be coming at you here pretty soon for the podcast for, what is it, April. But glad to have you on board, man. All right, so we need 2285. We're going to call it 2300. That's a lot of gas in this bird, isn't it? Well, no, not really. But that's a lot of gas for a short flight because our alternate literally is coming all the way back to Salt Lake. So we're going to fill it up here. 2300? 2,300 pounds. Love this air. I love this little fuel panel. I don't know why. Just little details like this just make this so fun. And we'll go ahead and begin the refueling. So they are fueling. We can verify that over here by the fuel page. I'm going to go ahead and reset. So let me go System, Reset Fuel. There we go. Oh, well, let's see. Decrease fuel, increase fuel, reset fuel. Oh, maybe it's because we never shut off completely. And the use, that's okay. But our fuel is coming up. That looks good. Our flight plan is in the box. Our current barrow down here in Salt Lake City is 2,907 still. That is set. We're going up to 10,000 feet. We don't have a SID out of here. We're going to keep this 10.9 page up. What I'm going to do is close you, and I'm going to actually pull up Jackson Hole just to see what type of approaches we have available over here. Greetings from Finland. Wow. Awesome, man. All over the world. I love it. Look at all the approach options. Ooh, it looks like we're going to be doing an RNAV approach, aren't we? We don't need to do any more ILSs. Airport page 10.9. That's what it looks like. So single runway 119, and right now Jackson Hole is 010 at 14 gust 20. So you can guarantee we'll be landing on runway 1 there, going northbound. Overcast 6,000. Perfect. That is a perfect setup for an RNAV approach. So for planning purposes, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go approaches, and we're going to do RNAV. We want to do the RNP Yankee. Let's do the RNP Yankee runway 1. So I'm going to quickly go procedure, select approach. What do we have available for Jackson Hole? ILS's RNAV, RNP Yankee, runway 1. RNP Yankee, runway 1. This is it. That looks perfect. We'll go ahead and enter that. And we're going to take it from, is it IDECA? We're going to take it all the way out from IDECA. Let's do that. And since we're here, we're just going to leave the minimums off right now. And we're just going to load that in the box. Cool. All right, so we've got that loaded up for Jackson Hole. We'll worry about that as we're en route. We're going to take off 17 southbound, though, so we're going to make a long taxi out. We'll probably do an intersection departure, Kilo 7. We'll do an intersection. Let's do Kilo 8. We'll go Kilo 8. We won't go all the way to the end. But we got our gas on board, 22.9. Let's go through our flow here. That looks good. Generators come on. Bleeds are going back into the auto position. Hydraulics are coming online. Pumps back to auto. We've already done our stick pusher cutout. We did all our tests on the first leg of the day. Ignitions are going into auto. ECS is off. That all looks good to me. Let's camera outside to the fuel panel. Gas is good. We're going to close it up here. And we got to close the doors as well, so we're going to kind of walk around the airplane. Ailerons into the wind. What is going on, man? He says, good evening, buddy, V1. I'm just gearing up for EGGD to BIKF. Ooh, I know that airport, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. I can't think of the name, but I know I've seen that identifier. Had some awesome flights, and thanks for the info on flying her to the runway to help remove the float. Ailerons into the wind. Awesome, man. Glad to hear it. Yeah, we just did a landing here in Salt Lake on leg 1, and in the replay you could see I literally just didn't even flare it. We just kind of floated. We had 10,000-foot runway, so I wanted to go all the way down to the end here so we don't have to taxi all the way to the jet center. But, guys, we're going to start with the door open for cinematic, or for sound purposes anyway. So we're going to start with the engine, or with the door open. Let's go ahead and pull you off. Why did we lose our GPU? Why are we sitting on battery power? I've noticed my electric page has dropped out. Alright. On GPU power now. That's my bad. Rodrigo Games. Adios, my friend.
Traffic, exit 915, taxiing 17 via Kilo 9, Salt Lake City traffic.
Alright, so he's taxiing out of here. I need to pull up my flight plan real quick for VATSIM. I didn't file it for this flight. It's do KSLC to KJAC. SLC is the alternate. 17:30 works for me, and 37, that's fine. We are Holter, Baca, Alidi, DNW. File flight plan. That looks good for me. That's it. Please fly with it open. We're not going to fly with it open. We're going to start engines with it open, though. Last thing we want to do is get our V-speed information. We've got plenty of gas. Let's take a little bit. We've got 900 pounds. We got picked up a few more people here. We'll take 1,600 passengers. Or 1,600 passengers. Jesus, listen to me. 1,600 pounds of cargo. V-speeds. For our weight, we need to go back to the perf charts. Performance. We're pretty much sea level down here, right? Anti-ice will be off. N1 modes for takeoff. We don't want that. We need, here we go. This is minus 1,000. No, we're going to do 0. Pressure altitude of 0. Our weight was, again, in kilos. Our total mass, 7.2. Call it 7.3. So we're going to interpolate between these two. This is with ice off, flaps 1, dry runway Temperature is 3 degrees outside, so it's pretty cold. So we'll call it 0. And what was our interpolation? Between 7.2 and 7.6 at 0. So between 7.2 and 7, 103, 104, 104. It's only 1 knot difference. So let's just do 104, 104, 115 for the V speeds. 104, 104, 115 is set. All right, everything is set here. Lawnmower GPU, yep. What 3 U.S. approaches would I suggest for the Phenom? Ooh, like, talking about challenging approaches? Well, I think... Let me think about that. Well, I definitely think you got to fly into Sedona, Arizona. Kilo Sierra Echo Zulu, regardless if you do an RNAV or whatever in there, or even if you just do the visual approach. I think flying into Sedona, I did it on stream a couple streams back, it just presents its own very unique set of challenges for that airport for landing over there because it's the way it's set up on the mesa. So I definitely suggest flying into Sedona, Arizona. Las Vegas, if you got a good scenery, if you do the RNAV visual or a visual approach to the ones or the 19ers, you come right down the strip. That's always fun. But as far as challenging approaches, I have to think about that one for a second. I know there'll be some good suggestions for you in chat. Throw your most challenging U.S. approach, published approach, in the box for Ollie there. All right, so we're ready to go. We're going to go ahead and start engine 2, like I said, with the door open, just so we can listen to these sounds. So we are in auto, correct? We are. And doors open. The aft door is open. We don't want that one open, too. Let's close that up. Close baggage aft. There we go. So the only thing open is our forward door. We're going to do it for audio purposes. Clear to start. Here we go, starting 2. Oh.
Salt Lake City traffic, check 915, taking runway 17. We'll be departing for V1's views, and then we gotta disconnect. You have a good flight, V1.
Hey, take it easy, bud. Hey, take it easy, man. Have a good one. That was a good start. All right, we'll go ahead and close the passenger door. He's departing out of here. There he goes. He's taking the runway. We're going to do this properly, though, this time. So we've got a good start on engine 2. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the generator of the GPU. We can see now that we are powering the aircraft by Gen 2. So we have good power. We'll go ahead and pull the GPU from the aircraft now. Close up that. And we'll do a battery start on engine number 1. There we go. Starting 1. Dougal, have a good one, my friend. Take it easy, dude. Hope you feel better, man. Hope everything is going well with you. Chavez has a good point there. Aspen would be a good approach as well. Aspen is definitely challenging. See ya. That's a cool shot. All right, 2 good starts here. That's good. Flaps coming to 1. Taxi lights coming on. And we'll go through our checklist out of here. ECS coming to both. Passengers are waiting. It's time to get moving, guys. Let's do it. Leg 2, here we go. I'm already starting to feel that corporate jet fatigue. All right, we're going to join the taxiway here. What is it? We'll take the inner kilo. So my taxi chart isn't lining up with the scenery, which is interesting. We'll take it all the way down to about kilo 8. What we do need to do is some checklist items. The GPU is disconnected. Stall protection, we did that on the first flight. Takeoff data set. Trims are. We do need to set that 0, 0. I'm going to push that trim down there. Get it back in the green arc. Trim's in motion. That's me. Trim set. Flight control speed brake checked. Ice protection as required. It's off. Flaps in the takeoff config. Before takeoff checklist, let's go ahead and work through that right now. Takeoff config check.
Takeoff. Okay.
Takeoff okay. CAS is clear. It's checked. Signs coming to the top position. Yaw damper is off, if I'm not mistaken. Yaw damper is off. Ice protection is required. ATR green. Passengers, external lights, and transponder on altitude when we get down there. So let's go ahead and make the left turn here. We're in roll pitch. We need to go to Toga here. I gotta bind this switch.
Donation.
There we go. Roll FD
Donation.
takeoff is set. Ebos, thank you so much for the $5 bomb, man. I appreciate it. He says, been enjoying the streams, Captain. Enjoy your in-real-life flights. Thank you so much, Ebos. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm back on. I'm busy, man. I've been flying. Let's see, we're flying today in the sim. We're gonna stream tomorrow. And then I'm right back to work in the real airplane on Saturday all the way through Tuesday. So trying to get 3 streams out for you this week, today and tomorrow. And then back in the real jet, man. All right. Stay on center line. So there you go. Roll FD takeoff is set. We're going to take it straight up to, you know what, let's go all the way up. Let's just set our crew top altitude. No sense in leveling off. Let's do 330. 33,000 is set. 114. Actually, I'm going to bug so I don't get hosed on this. I'm going to bug 180 so I don't get hosed on the flight level change out of here. We're going to go down one more exit just to be safe. I kind of want to take that one, but we're going to be safe. Captain Geo, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream, Geo. Glad to have you on board, man. Just joining leg 2. We did one leg from Telluride into Salt Lake, and now we're going to go put the airplane in Jackson Hole for the weekend. I kind of like flying this airplane point to point and always picking up where we leave off, so the next Phenom stream we're going to have to leave Jackson Hole and go somewhere. I feel like we should do a long haul on the Phenom. That'd be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? A long haul Phenom flight. What could go wrong, right? Look at the clouds. I love X and Viro. Can we take this one? Kilo 6. I don't want to take that one. We'll go one more. Alright, all checklists are complete. Quick flight control check. Should have done that earlier. That looks good. Everything else is set. Our CAS is clear. Our heading is set. Alright, we'll take Kilo 7 here. Salt Lake Traffic.com 357, taking Kilo 7 intersection departure off 17 southbound Salt Lake. Landing light is coming on, strobes are coming on. No one is on final. That looks clear. Make sure nobody else is on the map, just as a backup. Looks like a couple of airliners over there. I always love doing this. Oh, look at this shot though, man. Taking the runway and never stopping. That was my goal. Just take the runway and get right into the takeoff. Corporate pilot tip number 14 or wherever we're up to. Always just seems like it makes the boss feel important, right? Because his jet stops for no one. All right, runway heading checks 170. Let's go. Yoga. Love the sounds on this airplane. V1 rotate.
Minimums.
Positive rate, gear up. Roll pitch. I want to come up a little bit higher. Freaking awesome. There's our acceleration altitude. We'll lower the nose a little bit. We'll go flaps 0. We'll do it from inside here so we can see the flaps come up. Gosh, that's so beautiful. Work that speed bug down. Alright. Autopilot, heading, flight level change. Thrust is coming back to continuous climb. Yaw damper is engaged. We're going to go flight plan. Direct to holter. Enter. And nav. In the turn. Here we go. Freaking amazing. Christian says that's how you feel when ground tells you follow top 1% coming from left to right. Yes, sir. Follow the 1%er coming from left to right. You got it, man. That's funny, dude. I will increase our climb out about 180. Work that speed forward nice and slow. There's 10,000 feet. Landing taxi lights are coming off. I'm going to hide the yoke here if I can. Windshield heat's coming on. Sporadic clouds there going in and out. Alright, we're direct to our first waypoint. Look at that view right there. If you haven't hit the like button for that, man, I don't know what you expect. That just looks amazing. Captain Big Mike, good afternoon. Just in time for the second leg. You got it, Captain Big Mike. Welcome aboard, dude. We just departed Salt Lake City International up to Jackson Hole, which I've never actually, I don't believe I've ever flown in there in real life, in Jackson Hole. I'm trying to think if I did flying corporate, maybe once, like way back, you know, when I was just brand new, sitting in the right seat. But I feel like I would remember that one, and I don't remember it. Have you ever flown to Philadelphia? Oh, yeah, I used to be based in Philadelphia, man. Used to be based in filthy Delphia. I'm going to keep working that speed up here nice and slow. Again, we're trying to operate it like a real corporate pilot would today, 1 knot at a time. I'm just going to work it up here. 180 knots. We're going for that VY climb out. We no longer need Salt Lake charts. Say goodbye. Jackson Hole Airport 10-9, and we also need the airport. We're doing the RNAV, RNP approach, Yankee. RNP Yankee, runway 1. There we go. Cool. We got that set up. We don't know what we'll see here. What do we got? After takeoff, gears up, flaps are up, yaw damper is on. Thrust levers are MCT. Pressurization, we are climbing. That looks good. Altimeters are cross-check 290907. We're about to set standard here. Ice protection as required. External lights as required. After takeoff checklist is complete. Flyby again. That flyby view never gets old. That view is just stunning, man. Ooh, a little bit of turbulence now. A little bit of wing flex out there. Great. Lawton Field is your home base, Big Mike, huh? Lawton, Fort Sill Regional. Good stuff, man. Oklahoma. I'm basically in Oklahoma, man, where I live. So far north. That shot is just awesome right there, though. Ollie says it's going to be so satisfying in the 8X overtaking Airbuses and cruise at 45,000 feet. Ollie, you know it, man. You're going to be overtaking a lot of airplanes in cruise in that 8X. I cannot wait for the 8X. Out of Miami to St. Martin, Geo. Whew, that would be a long one. For me, the challenging approach was Anchorage or Juneau. Due to low clouds, had to go around 3 times. Ooh, we do have to do some Alaska flying. We got to get up to Alaska. I think that's where we're going to go next. We're going to go Jackson Hole, maybe to like Portland or Seattle, somewhere there, the Pacific Northwest, and we're going to hop over the fjords into Alaska. I think we have to go to Alaska. I've been wanting to get up there. Yeah, this is a combination of Forkboy Ortho and X Enviro doing its thing. As we go through a top cloud layer here. This is cool. Look at the cloud layer. We're climbing into the cloud layer. That's awesome. Probably should turn on our engine anti-ice. Resync you. Climbing right out of the top. That's awesome. And just like that, we're on top. All right, we're well out of standard. I should have set standard earlier. 2992 is set. We no longer need the engine anti-ice. We'll turn that off. We'll go ahead and turn off the signs in the back. Everything else looks good. Auto ECS. Let's do a quick systems check here as we're climbing out. Electrical is good. Fuel. We're looking good here. 930. We're looking good. Fuel is balanced. Anti-ice. We have the windows on. And status page is good. So 74, 140, a little bit longer. We'll be all right. I want to throw on map. We have any NexRad? Any weather radar? I don't think so. No weather radar to look at. There's our airways. We don't want to do that. Let's go topo. Get the airways off there. Don't need the NexRad. We'll keep traffic on. That looks good to me. All right. 25.8. Climbing 330. We're doing 180 indicated. We're looking good. Wait, is this new? I don't remember there being orange juice back here. I guess there always was. There we go. 1450 UTC is our estimated time of arrival. We're climbing out of 26.6. This is awesome. Would you like some tea, Governor? Have an interactive iPad over here. Pretty cool. Go to the Avi tab. Let's go home. Maps. That is so sweet. This is awesome. I got a little map here. I got my other stuff up here. A little coffee in the back. We're just chilling. Do I have any plans for the CRJ and Flight Sim 2020? I do. I just haven't got around to them yet, man. I want to do the A350 first, and then I'll probably do fly-by-wire mod 320 because it's been a minute since we've been in that airplane, and then we're gonna do probably CRJ stuff. The CRJ, it's just not appealing to me. That's all. There's nothing personal with Aerosoft or anything like that. Just if I'm gonna spend the money, do I really want to spend it on a CRJ that I'll probably fly once or twice on stream and then not really fly it at all? Captain Chad, yes, this is X Enviro, man. This is X Enviro right here. Just doing a little monitor of our instruments. That looks good. Well, that'll wake you up, huh? Apologies. Time to hit the lottery. You got it, Fubar. I hope Airbus makes a PC-24. I think a PC-24 would be pretty sweet to see that. I know they're working on that Falcon 8X right now, which I'm super excited for. I do think that Falcon... I mean, after flying this airplane around and seeing the features and just how everything is so smooth and finished, I cannot wait for that 8X to drop. Ailerons into the wind. The ortho down below was Fork Boy. It's all Fork Boy ortho over here because there is no Orbix on this part of the country. But the textures that you see with the snow, that's all courtesy of X-Enviro. Ailerons into the wind. I'm excited for, I believe it was you, right, that were telling me about the sim coder pack for the Chieftain and Navajo. That will be pretty sweet. I can't wait for that one. You're trying to talk sim coders? Oh, you're trying to talk Torque Sim into doing a PC-24. I have that one airplane I've never flown on stream, but I do have it in my hangar, is that Pocket Rocket from Torque Sim. I think that's a fun little bird to fly around. Oh, not the CRJ, the CJ4. Oh, the CJ4 mod. Yeah, that'd be worth flying around, actually. I'll have to try. I've heard good things about it. I've never even touched it. But I've heard a lot of good things about that CJ4 mod. I'm not aware of any Gulfstream 650ER. That would be sweet, though. I do have a buddy that flies. Well, he used to. He got furloughed, and he went back to fly on the Gulfstream, and now he got recalled. But yeah, he flew a 650. G650, man. The pictures are pretty amazing from that jet. That is one hell of an airplane. All right, looks like we're leveling 330. We're going to just go ahead and leave it in continuous climb here, see what kind of speed it gives us. We're going to go for a max speed here. We're going to try to set 7.7 here in the window, and we'll see what happens. Christian says the CJ4 is really cool. It's your favorite airplane now in FS 2020? Really? Okay, well I might have to look into it, man, because you're not the only one to say that it's been really good. But I keep hearing it. If it's people's favorite airplane, it's probably their favorite for a reason. Hello. Man, look at that solid overcast layer right there. Jeez. Am I getting good frames with X-Enviro? Right now I'm getting 31 FPS, man. 31 FPS over the top of an overcast, so I'd say that's pretty good. Aileron says the Pocket Rocket is good, but you should take on the SR-22. Oh man, I don't think I've ever flown. No, I've never flown the Cirrus SR-22. They are in the development of my old flight line lady from the corporate days. Really? I'm gonna have to check in on them. I first got turned on to Torque Sim from the IAE engine mod, because for those that don't know, that IAE engine mod that we use. She sure does look like my future ex-wife. But the IAE mod that we use for the Airbus was designed by one of the developers for Torque Sim. So that's kind of what turned me on to Torque Sim. I never even heard of them. And I picked up that Pocket Rocket. It was pretty sweet. I did not know they were in development of anything else like that, though. That's pretty sweet. I'll check it out. All right, let's see what kind of speed it gives us here. We're going to go max cruise, walk it back. Looks like we're going to pretty much stabilize here around 7.3. How's our fuel flow? 660 pounds per hour. About an hour of fuel, a little over an hour of fuel on board. That's good. Let's do a flyby shot here. I'll never get tired of that. I like sitting outside, but this view is pretty sweet right here, too. Miss Jungle said the view is so relaxing to look at. Yeah, out that cockpit window, just the wings sitting out there. So they are doing a citation as we speak. Are you serious? What model citation are they doing? Is it, I'd be curious, CJ model, like a CJ1, CJ2 maybe? Or are they doing a... That'd be awesome. I mean, anything torque sim... I mean, I put torque sim up there, you know, with the best of them, too, when it comes to development. I mean, they haven't done any large aircraft, but the complexity and the finishing touches that they put on there, at least on the pocket rocket that I've seen. I mean, the attention to detail, very similar to what we see here with Aerobasque, you know. They don't take any shortcuts. They make sure it's modeled. Paul says it's almost good as a 727. You know what's funny, Paul? Is I almost loaded up the 727 today. I was kind of feeling retro, like rolling some serious coal with the tri-jet, but then I was like, you know what? We haven't flown the Phenom in a while. Let me get back into this bird here. A little bit more relaxing, 2 legs in the Phenom. Although it does get exhausting, man. You start talking on stream for a long time. You're loading up flight plans. You kind of can simulate that long day. Now, I mean, I've had some really long days flying corporate. I mean, we're talking 5, 6 legs. You know, it can be brutal. But where I flew, for the most part, that didn't happen. It was pretty much one and done, maybe 2 legs. And if you're flying 2 or 3 legs, you'd be flying empty every other leg, you know, so you could really, you know, relax, I guess. You could sit back. One guy, if you're flying with 2 pilots, you could have one guy sit up front and go sit in the back for a little bit, because we're both single pilot typed on it, right? So, all right, Aileron, thanks. I appreciate the DM, man. I'll check it out. Ooh, a 525. Nice. Oh, wow, look at that. We're really cooking now. Let's walk it back here. We don't want to overspeed. I'll be happy with 7.7. We'll come back here to 83% on the N1s. All right, here we go. So to help clean up the flight plan here, I'm going to go airports, our approach chart here. We're going to set up a direct to our approach, if I can say that. Oh, clear. Scroll you down, because I can see Urco is over there. Or no, wait, I had it loaded out to IDECA. I loaded it all the way from IDECA. Let's take a look at this. So let's go direct to the initial. Vugoy will direct, activate in the turn. That was an aggressive turn there. I seriously think the Phenom 300 may be one of the best looking corporate jets out there. It just looks amazing. We need to go ahead and set 14,000. Enter. Fly level change. We got 2,000. Really? I feel like we're still 50 miles away. All right. Starting our top of descent. Here we go. Let's do some quick performance charts. All the way out to 63. All right, here we go. Flap 1 and flap 3, wing stab on. We don't want that. Flap 2 and full. Ice protection off or on with wing stab off. That's what we're looking for. Pratt & Whitney 535E engines. That's us. And our gross weight, if I go to options here, right now our current weight is 6.9. So let's look at this chart here. We'll interpolate between these two. We'll call it 110, 110, and 125. 110, 110, and 125 for the speeds. Or VREF. What was our VREF? Was 110? Yeah. VFS 125. It's set. VAC flaps 2 was 110, right? We'll do 111 on the higher side. We'll interpolate with a little bit more buffer. So our V speeds are set. We're descending down to 14,000. Do you arm the spoilers of landing? Nope. It will automatically deploy them. Nope, I will not extend the spoilers. We don't need to. We're going to just kind of work it up here. I'm going to increase the forward speed a little bit. Man, it's snow covered up here. Trying to catch up to that vertical deviation a little bit here. All right, let's look at the... So we got our perf data is already set. We're going to get rid of that. I'm going to preemptively load the checklist, and then we're going to go back to our charts here. Our RNP, we're going direct to VUGI, which is at 14,000. RNP 0.3 is required. The DA is 7373. So timer reference, let's go down to minimums. We'll go ahead and turn you on. And I'm going to close that, and I'm going to set the minimums here. 7373. Geez, so we'll call it 7380. Is set as our baro min for the RNP. We'll go ahead and pick up that indicated speed here. Rocket ship time. Gotta catch up to that V path there. I'm gonna go procedures. And we'll leave it for now. We're direct to Vugoy. We've already done our briefing. We'll go ahead and turn our belts on. Those are set. Window heats are already on. We're gonna be landing on runway 1, which is straight in for us, which is nice. Then we're gonna make a right-hand turn off back to the terminal. We'll probably roll it all the way down to Alpha 4. 6,300 feet available for landing, so we got plenty of runway. We're going to go ahead and roll it all the way out, probably Alpha 4. We don't no need to get on the brakes hard. Let's just let it slow down. It's all about smooth. Smooth is fast. What do I think of the Phenom so far? I've been thinking about getting it this month. Blue Aviation. I'm in love with the Phenom, my friend. I mean, as soon as it came out, I did 3 streams in a row with it. I believe this is my 4th stream with it. I can't get enough of this airplane, man. It's the little things that are done so well that make me want to come back and keep flying it. So... it's awesome. If the ECAM tells you speed brake do not use, do you arm the spoilers for landing? Are you talking about in the Airbus? If you got an issue with the Airbus? Well, then you're probably not going to arm them if the ECAM tells you to, but I don't know if the ECAM will tell you not to use speed brake. If anything, you'll get an amber flashing speed brake message in the ECAM. That typically means because you're out of phase. You got the speed brakes extended when you don't need them to be extended. And the thrust is coming up. And if you continue to ignore it, depending on which model, 19, 20, 21, specifically between the 21 and the other two, you will auto-retract the speed brake. It will auto-retract the speed brakes for you. All right, current altimeter 29094. We'll go ahead and set that. 29094 is set. Sky clear, wind 040 at 5 now. So it's a beautiful day there in Jackson Hole. Here comes our vertical profile. We're finally catching up to it now. Add a little bit of thrust. There we go. Now we're back on our vertical profile. We caught back up to 290 knots. So real handy tool here is this is my vertical profile. That's where I need to be, so I'm slightly below it. This is my vertical speed caret requirement. So right now it's telling me I need about 1450 or more to maintain that VNAV profile. Pretty neat stuff, man. Pretty neat stuff. We'll leave the synthetic vision off for this approach. Actually, you know what? We'll screw it. We'll keep it on. You guys like seeing it, don't you? We'll go synthetic vision on. We're getting a little bit below the profile now. See, we didn't even need speed brake. This airplane will hustle down. Nope, synthetic vision does not kill FPS. I'm still rocking 31 FPS, man, with X Enviro. So this airplane is really well optimized. All right, so according to the chart here, let's pay attention. After we press VUGI at 14,000, we'll go ahead and arm it. Actually, we'll go approach arm. Altitude select is arm 14,000. Glide path vector or glide path vertical deviation is armed. I guess that's what it is. Glide path / vertical track is armed. And let's go through a quick checklist here on the approach. Oh, I'm sorry, the descent. Approach briefing is completed. Landing data we set. Windshield heat is on. Signs are set. Ice protection as required. We've got them off right now except our window heat. I don't think we're going to need any more than that. So descent checklist is complete. Through 18,000, we set 29904. Barrow is cross-checked. 7380 set. We got 1,000 feet to go. Exterior lights will be set at 10,000 feet. Signs are as required, and passengers are advised. Are you ready for landing? She's ready for landing. All right, so we need to also set, so our final approach point, not a final approach fix. Notice this is a pure RNP approach, final approach point, 8,600. I'm also going to slow down here on this approach. I'm going to come all the way back now because this is a steep approach in here. I'm going to bug. Let's just come right back to 180 on this so we don't, I've never been in here before. And if I'm treating this like the 8.6, was it? Yep, 8,600 is set for our final approach point. And she didn't capture the path. Do I need to activate? I don't know why it didn't. Nope. I don't know why I lost it there again. A little hiccup there on the internet, guys. Apologize for that. So I don't know why I didn't capture that. I've activated vectors to final now, so we're going to go to our final approach point at Widga. But Liat was at or above 11.6, so we're just going to keep trickling down. Cade Foster says we're counting on you. Hey, man, no promises. I'm going to turn the light on early here. Man, y'all must have had some serious snow up here in Wyoming. Or is it Wyoming? Yeah, Wyoming. That's when you know you're a real corporate pilot, is you don't even know what state you're going into. So we're going to go ahead and keep coming down. 8,600 for the final approach point. I know I cleared out all these fixes here. Neck P is at or above 11.2. We're above that. Nonal is at 10.5. So we're visual. We're just kind of backing it up with the RNP here. 12.4 for 8.6 on the final approach point. Approach is activated. Vector to final. 8.6 is blue. Lights are on. I want to hustle down here. That way we can slow down to 180. CNT, what is going on, man? Long time no see. Welcome to the stream, dude. Just in time for landing into Jackson Hole. The Exonos Jackson Hole, Wyoming Airport. Blue Aviation, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks. Glad to have you on board, man. If you are a Discord user, you can also sync your YouTube to the Discord server, and you'll gain access to the V1 After Dark channel within the V1 community there on the Discord. We got a pretty sweet community over there on the V1 Discord, guys. The link is in the description. Feel free to join it. We got real pilots, real air traffic controllers in there. X-Plane, FS 2020, Digital Combat Sim, anything you want simulator related, we got it. Alright, here we go. 11.2. We're looking good now. So I think if we get down to 8.6, we'll be just in time. Might have to use a little spoid brake here, guys. We might have to use a little spoid brake. I'm really trying not to. I'm going to bump it up 200 knots. Hustle down. I'd rather bump up 200 knots than use my spoid brake here. You should not want to use that speed brake as a corporate guy. Owen says that X and Vi was overestimating the snow. Moore's melted away by now. Nah. I'm actually not too concerned because I don't have scenery up here, so having the snow makes it a little bit nicer to look at, I guess, than just default scenery, but it does seem like it's quite a lot of snow. Look at the terrain filling in here on the ND. That's awesome. Or I should say, sorry, not ND, MFD. PFD, MFD for G1000 terms. 1,000 to go, check. Coming up on 4 miles from the final approach point. I'm going to use a little spoid brake. I really don't want to, but I got to. Because I still need to slow down. Jackson Hole is in sight, 12 o'clock. A little bit of spoid brake there. 8.6, we're coming all the way back now. What did we bug? V-app, or V-ref is 110. I'm going to come all the way back. All right. I hope you guys enjoy the landing. Here we go. First and only place I ever felt a tremor was in Jackson Hole. Jello legs are a real thing. Man, I believe it. Flaps 1, here comes our vertical path that's coming down. You can see that here. So we are on the RNP approach. We'll go ahead and extend the gear as well. Start slowing up. Beautiful shot. Flaps 2. Minimums are 73, so we're about 1,000 feet above minimums. All right, flaps full, landing checklist. Going on altitude, we're going to set 10,000 feet. For landing, landing gear is down 3 green, flaps set, yaw damper is on for now. Speed brake is closed, going on altitude 10,000, set ice protection as required. Remember, little to no flare is required. We're coming back to VREF, we're stable. 1,000 feet checks, clear to land. Yep, the scenery comes with ortho around the area of Jackson Hole, so you can kind of see the trees already. Oh, get a little power in there. I'm going to leave that autopilot on just a little bit longer so we can enjoy some of the scenery here. And destroy eardrums. Those Pratt & Whitneys sound wicked. All right, ref on speed, ref 111. We're looking good. 7,700 feet. We're coming down. Look at the terrain. This is what we call Jackson Hole. Look at that. All the red is terrain above you. And we are landing right in the hole there. Ooh, a little bit of a wind shift. Go ahead and bring that thrust back. Here comes minimums. I'm going to leave the autopilot on because, I mean, who doesn't like seeing this? Oh, look at the terrain. Oh, look at the turbulence coming in over the ridge line here. Oh, too cool, man. I freaking love this airplane. Whoa. Okay, we're getting bumped around here. I'm going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot. I have control. And we need to kill that yaw damper. It's off. Alright, I'm just going to kind of follow the path here a little bit. Ref +1. Little to no flare. Not a short runway, but not 10,000 feet long either, so. With the snow and ice on this runway, I'm probably going to come in, I tell you, my goal is going to be about 30 feet over the threshold right now. So we're no longer in the bus. My goal, when we get our landing report, I want to be about 30 feet over the threshold. I really want to try to set her down early on, so I'm going to do what most people do in the Airbus when they shouldn't do it. I'm going to come in a little bit low. That way we can have plenty of time to slow down with all this snow and ice on the runway here.
400.
Still showing 2 whites on the Pappy. We're looking good. I know it's hard for you to see. I can barely make it out on my screen.
300.
A little bit low there. Didn't want to go that low. Correcting.
200.
Get that vertical path dot there. Ref -3. Will power.
100.
Oh, yes, sir. 75 feet per minute. We'll take it. Spoilers, ground spoilers are up. No reverse. I'm going to let the airplane just kind of slow down here. Real light brake applications. We're already planning to go to the end. 60 knots. Beautiful. What'd I say? I wanted to be 30 feet. We're at 24 feet above, with a 75 feet per minute on the touchdown. Ladies and gentlemen, we may have had a little steep profile on the descent, but we sure buttered it. The boss is going to enjoy that. The boss will enjoy that touchdown, saving his jet, saving his brakes, saving his maintenance on the airplane. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the synthetic display now since we're on the ground. And we'll go ahead and make the turn out here. 2 right turns, taxi to the ramp. Nice and slow when you turn off the runway when it's snow covered. Ask me how I know. Let's go ahead and pull the flaps up. Look at that beautiful scenery with the snow on it. That's cool. Alright, flaps are coming up. Let's clear the runway here. And we're going to take it down to the ramp. Which will run straight into it. Nobody on file. We'll go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM. I want to see that touchdown. All right, we'll taxi into the ramp. Let's do our after landings here. Flaps the speed brake up and closed. Exterior lights are set. Ice protection. We'll go ahead and kill it. It's off. 0.2 or less it is. That looks good. We'll go ahead and taxi into the ramp. Wasting no time here. Might consider shutting down both engines, but going with the flow here of ice on the runway on the taxiways, we're just going to keep both engines running. Looks like our fuel truck is there already. Long taxi back. Wojtek says better than butter. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. All right, here is the terminal area. So if I'm not mistaken, we need to go... I believe the GA is over here, right? We're going to keep on trucking here. Let's not hit a wingtip there. I see a Gulfstream, so we're going to go park next to that Gulfstream. What time am I thinking tomorrow, Fubar? I will let y'all know. I'm thinking probably 11 my time local, so pretty much today minus 30 minutes. We'll see. I'm going to try to schedule it tonight, so keep a lookout for it. All right, here we go. We're going to take spot 11 into the ramp here. We'll kill our taxi light. Man, this X Enviro really gets that snow feeling out there. Oh, that's not a Gulfstream, that's a Global, isn't it? We're going to park right next to the Global, hinting at the boss, hey, we should buy a bigger jet. (526) Charlie X-ray. All right, we're in. Brakes are set. ECS is off. Ignition's off. Generators off. And let's kill it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Work calls, take it easy, Fubar. Thank you, man. You have a good one. All right, hydraulics are coming off, pumps are off, and we'll eventually kill the batteries. But I want to do a quick replay mode here. So that was pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and throw you guys into the old replay mode. We're off of VATSIM. And toggle replay. Here we go. All right, good shot right there. We'll sit in the cabin here for a minute. It does ship with a large area of ortho, which you can remove. I'm one of the devs. Awesome. Steve Van, what's up, man? He says, soaking up some sun in Oregon and listening to V1. Good day. Awesome, Steve. Glad to have you on board, man. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy the sun. No sun here in Texas today, man. Let's watch it from the wing view here. Let's just see this real quick, and then we'll do some outside shots. Ooh, yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so butter. That even seems smoother than the one we had in Salt Lake. Just from that view. Let's take a look from the outside. We were right on the center line too. Google's favorite view. I'm gonna do it from right here so we can hear the thrust going up and down. Ooh. Oh my goodness. With the trailing link gear, you wouldn't even notice that. You probably wouldn't have even felt that, man. That was awesome. Well, man, I feel like I've been working. Been hard at work here. It's almost 2:30. Been flying all afternoon. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this little multi-leg day. I mean, I don't know how you don't enjoy that with the sound coming in over the threshold. Just a tad off center line there, but I guess the lights really aren't on the center line, so I was kind of lining up with the lights. But man, I hope you guys enjoyed this little stream from the Phenom 300. Again, it's one of my favorite little light jets. I think it flies very well. It does all the little things really well. Mod sponsors, thank you so much for supporting the channel, donating to the channel. Really appreciate it. Moderators, thank you for keeping everybody in check today. Mrs. Jungle, shout out to you. Dougal, I know you were here earlier, man. Glad to have you. That's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Until tomorrow, which we will be on the A350 back in the airline game. I hope you guys are looking forward to that one. I will post it up tonight as soon as I can. If you're just hanging out with me in chat, love you guys just as much as everybody else here with members. Members or donors. I understand everyone's situation is different, so if you're just hanging out, you guys are awesome. Just do me a favor, hit the like button for me on the way out. Until next time, guys, I'm V1. See ya!